And speaking of having absolutely no bearing and no understanding of the violent rhetoric, did you hear remember Joe Wilson and the whole "you lie" thing? I think I actually have the clip here. This was during the last Obama State of the Union address, and Joe Wilson yelling, "You lie." I'll play the clip for you here.
Also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
All right, we all remember that. And now it turns out that was Joe Wilson from South Carolina. It turns out now that there's a gun manufacturer in South Carolina, according to the Columbia Free Times, that says the words "you lie" are being engraved on a series of lower receivers manufactured for popular AR-15 assault rifles. I think we have the picture, right? This is just one piece of the firearm. Palmetto State Armory would like to honor our esteemed Congressman Joe Wilson with the release of our new "You Lie" AR-15 lower receiver. The weapons manufacturer's site writes in the product description, only 999 of these will be produced. Get yours before they're gone. They did change their mind on this, fortunately, probably because of a lot of the negative reporting, and the rifle part, fortunately, is no longer available for purchase. According to a spokesman, if you look at the picture, it's not on the actual gun, the engraving, that is. It's on the lower receiver. This is obviously, Lewis, more evidence that those on the right have nothing to do with the tone, tenor, and message of anger and violent action, right? I mean, let's think about this. "You lie," a comment made in a show of vast disrespect to the President of the United States during a State of the Union address. A political disagreement, right? An accusation of a lie related to the health insurance reform and who would be covered. Let's put that on a gun. On a gun. So we're not talking about targeting with a crosshair healthcare reform for repeal. We're going leaps and bounds beyond that into actually putting the political disagreement on a firearm to honor the guy who made a complete fool out of himself and ended up apologizing for probably one of the biggest acts of disrespect during a State of the Union address.
Well, apparently this guy's got a big following.
At least worth 999 of these things being produced. I mean, how much more closely can you link political disagreements and guns than putting what a guy who disagrees with Obama yelled out on a gun? This is exactly the type of thing. Forget about the First Amendment. Forget about free speech arguments. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about common sense. We're talking about decency. And it is embarrassing, and I'm glad that they are no longer going to make these available for sale. But what on earth is going on here? That this somebody who sits around a table and thinks this is a good idea. And by the way, does everybody sitting around the table making the decision agree with this? You'd have to think there must be one guy working there who says, wait a second, regardless of my politics, this is kind of insane, is it not? I mean, is there no one sitting around the table at this gun manufacturer, the Palmetto State Armory, who thinks this is just not a good idea?
Apparently they all think it's a moneymaker.
I really don't think this one's about money, but I don't know. On the bonus show today, we'll talk about sex in space. What is that all about? We'll also talk about a U.S. immigration ruling a 9-year-old boy a threat. We had a 9-year-old girl killed in the Gabrielle Giffords incident. Now we have a 9-year-old boy who has been determined to be a threat. And also, Rhode Island Governor Chafee is saying, stop paying for vitriolic commentary on the radio. It's a fascinating story. So make sure you're getting the bonus show. DavidPakman.com/membership. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this. And Mark Potok will be on with us a little bit later, too.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.